Are we back in survival? Are we doing this? No. We are in survival because I made some upgrades to the mob head farm, and we need to test it to make sure it works. But first, future me here with an apology. I somehow managed to record this entire episode with my external mic turned off, which means my internal mic caught the whole episode along with every button I pressed and every mouse click. I'm really sorry. I can't re-record the episode. I can't bring myself to do it, and I'm just going to release it as is. So thank you in advance for bearing with my technical difficulties, and hopefully we'll have a polished episode 3. Back to the show. You can't really test this thing in creative because if you've built it wrong, the creeper will explode and kill you. So we need to make sure that survival players don't get blowed up. We want mob heads, not player heads. So let's conjure a thunderstorm. We're in survival other than that. I mean, there's no command blocks. We've got a mob farm up there that is supplying our creepers, and everything else is all survival friendly. The only command I'm using here is to conjure up a thunderstorm for testing purposes. And our first lightning strike will activate the system. When the system is not active, all of our creepers die right here. But now that it's active, the creepers are being diverted to our lightning rod up there, and when these indicators turn on, that will tell us the creepers are loaded into the chamber, or the holding chamber anyway. This will hold many charged creepers, as many as will fit. And then when that lamp turns on, it means we have a charged creeper under here, ready to go. And let's select the mob we want. We hit that button if we want zombie head. We hit that button if we want creeper head. Let's go zombie. Oh, and we have creepers in the chamber, so we just need to wait till that one turns on and we're ready to go. Ooh, actually, we're not. If the creeper sees our armor, we are dead. We're going to be invisible for this. This chest is where we feed the system invisibility potions, and they're taken up into the ceiling, and you can't see it, but the ceiling is going to open up and hit us with an invisibility potion right when we hit that button, just in time to not be seen by the creeper, if this works right. And okay, we've got a charged creeper in the chamber. We should be able to, yep, there he is. Okay. Oh, and we need a flint and steel. And okay, fingers crossed. We're invisible. There's our charged creeper. We're gonna hit the button, light him. Boom. Okay. And then the head will go here, and we should get a new zombie in just a minute. And that light will indicate, okay, there's our zombie, and then that light will indicate that we have a new creeper. There's our head. Let's take these out of here so you can see that we got one. Should have a new creeper in there now. Yep. We'll do a skeleton this time. This time, we will not get hit with invisibility potion because we're already invisible, and the system knows it. There's a cooldown back there, and it won't hit us again until the potion has worn off. So no potion this time, and we'll hit it, light him, and we'll get a new skeleton there. That light will turn on when we're ready with another creeper, and the ding will indicate that the head has arrived. All at the same time. Whoa! Oh, you know what? That's machine blood. Oh no, something exploded. Oh no, something exploded. We're gonna have to check that out. Oh, yep. Oh, that sucks. So I'm guessing we're going to need to move this a little lower. This is just a collection chamber, so it could be as far down as we want it to be. It doesn't matter. It just can't be too high up, obviously. We've learned that. But the charged creeper and the mob whose head we want both fall, and then right around here they explode, and the idea is they're supposed to go into a collection system, but that didn't work, and they blew the collection system up. So, yeah. The lava is there for when we flush the system. In fact, I might as well show that to you now, since this thing is a bust anyway. When we're done using it, so it's not raining anymore, right? So we don't, and we may not want to use it anymore. Let's say we're done collecting heads for the day. We can turn off the mob system, and that turns off the mob farm and flushes our candidates here, and they go down to that chamber below and hit that lava blade. And then there are still charged creepers over here in the holding tank. This is where the charged creepers come from each time we use one. So we want to flush them as well. So the way we do that is a hidden button right here that begins the process of basically pumping them into a killing tank. Just one at a time, they're going to be sent over here and dropped to their death. And normally they would go through that lava blade. It's kind of still working. Maybe we could leave it alone. And then once they're all gone, last one, okay, that one's gone, so our indicator lights have turned off there. And we are, still have one more down there. Let's just kill him. Oh, everything blew up. Okay, back to the drawing board. Okay, round 2. So I moved it down about 6 blocks, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. And we'll turn on the mob farm. And, ooh, time to feed the cat. Yeah, he's hungry. Okay, so we've got a zombie. There's our creeper. And a skeleton. Okay. Let's start with the skeleton again this time. And we will force a thunderstorm. And while we wait for that, we'll put the cat away. Back into your home. Yeah, love that. Okay, so thunderstorm has started, and now we wait for creepers. This is our creeper chamber, and we should see a creeper land in it here soon. There goes a zombie, 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 zombie. Come on, creepers. There's a creeper. Oh, charged already. Another creeper, another creeper. Good, okay. That guy's pre-charged. Yeah. I just noticed our cat is in the one block where there's rain. Poor cat. That cat serves as kind of a traffic cop when this thing needs to be cleared out. Oh, there they go. Okay. So those are going to go down this chute into our holding tank. Okay, so now our indicator lights would be on. Which they are. And then as soon as there's enough of them... Oh, you know what? Okay. This will happen. So we had a skeleton and a creeper here, right? But we went too far away and they despawned, and now we're stuck with just a zombie. So we have this flushing button up here, and that just flushes it and reloads us with 3 new ones so that we can recover from a despawn like that. And we're reloaded. Okay, so we'll do the skeleton, and we should have a charged creeper in there because our light is on. Yep, we do. We'll get our flint and steel out and switch to survival. Okay, fingers crossed for 2 reasons. One, we don't want our machine to blow up, but also, hopefully we still get a invisibility potion, because our potion has worn off. Potion, creeper, button, light. Ooh, that was fast. That doesn't seem right. I think something broke. I'm pretty positive something broke. We got our skeleton, and our light is on, and our creeper is there. It's still... Oh, I'm an idiot. I didn't put the obsidian back. I didn't put the obsidian... I'm an idiot. Okay, back to the drawing board again. Actually, check this out. There's our skeleton head. It works! I don't know why this was ever glass. Bloop. Can we go fast enough? No way. There's no way. We'll try. Alright, round 3. We've got our skeleton selected. Still have creepers in the chamber, that's good. Flint and steel, button, creeper, button, light. Oh! Nothing yet. Good. Got our skeleton back. But no oh, there's our ding. Oh! I think we're good. I think we got it. Let's do 2 more, just to make sure. Should have a creeper in there. Oop, we got a new potion too, that was good. Button. Light. Boom. Got our zombie. Got our head. Okay. 1 more. Creeper. We should have, yep, we've got another one in there. Creeper, button, light. I think we're good. Got our replacement creeper. And our head. Ah, yeah, okay, let's turn it off. Make sure all our shutdown stuff works. That should flush that system. Yep. And then we hit this button to flush the rest of it. That'll get rid of all the creepers and eventually turn off that light. And then if we want more, we wait for a storm and everything starts back up again. Oh, we do have one more thing to test. And that is the indicator that tells us we're out of invisibility potion, because that could be a total game stopper. And it does work, okay. Yeah, so if we're out of invisibility potion and we hit that button and we don't get hit with invisibility potion, we're toast. It's gonna blow up right away. So if there's no invisibility potion, that lamp will be flashing, and it'll flash regardless of whether there's a creeper in the chamber. And that just tells us, here, we'll cheat and take it like that. If we put a couple of these in there, they'll cycle around and should go solid. Or no, it'll turn off actually, because we don't have a creeper in the chamber. Why is it on? Because of a repeater. It's always a repeater. It's fixed now though. Okay, what do you guys think of the buttons with no contrast? That button and that button. What I'm going for here is that all the buttons that you use to run the machine are contrasted, visible, you know, placed intuitively. So our selection board buttons are right there, and our button for running the machine is right there. But stuff that is just, you know, like maintenance-y stuff, like, oh, we went too far away and our mob head candidates disappeared, so we need to flush the system and summon new ones. Or we're done using the system and we want to flush the extra charged creepers that are down there. We put those, you know, where you can like barely see them, so that they're sort of like hidden buttons. I don't know how I feel about it though. Like, should those be more front and center? Like, do we want an item frame behind this? And I don't even know what we would do here. I guess you can put item frames on ceilings now, but yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm kind of leaning toward the maintenance-y type buttons. Alright, so our next project is going to be in the nether, and I feel kind of weird, like, I don't know what to do about this whole survival creative thing. I feel weird taking stuff with me that I gave myself in creative. Ooh, we do need to put this back. But like, we're going back and forth anyway, so I don't know what to feel about it. Like, I don't stock my chests with anything that we didn't earn legitimately through a farm. I don't know. I feel like, oh yeah, we got those guys. I feel like we need to pick one and stay in it, but we're gonna have to go into survival to test certain things too. So I did have a suggestion from the comments about maybe switching back into survival after we build the piglin bartering farm, because we'd have access to ender pearls at that point. I think it's going to be a while before we build a enderman farm, because the end is broken for us. Our portal is not going to work again until Until I don't know what. I hope it's a bug. I really hope it's a bug. But until that's fixed, we kind of can't go to the end. Or at least I don't want to go to the end. Let's get some food. So I'm thinking what we'll do is play kind of in this weird hybrid mode where we're sort of in survival, but we build in creative. And then if by some crazy turn of events I wind up with a lot more time on my hands, maybe I can do full survival. But that's just going to have to be how it is for now. So let's go to the Nether. Why are we underwater? That doesn't make any sense. Why are we underwater? What is happening? What? What in the world? Let's go find out what that was all about. What? Why are we dead? I don't know. I'm kind of afraid to go through there. Okay, so also we have to go to survival every time we use this because the timings are set for survival. In creative you go right through the portal, but in survival, you know, you kind of hang there, so I don't even know if we're going to go to the right portal though. That was bizarre. We did. Except we didn't. Oh, whoa. What? What? What in the... We can't go into creative. Because we're in the portal. There we go. What drowned us? How'd we drown? Do you guys... Oh! Oh, I know what happened. I know what happened. The last time I used this, I threw one too many ender pearls into it. So we must have instead... Okay, so here's what's supposed to happen. When we hit that button, an ender pearl that's held in stasis is launched across and into the portal. And then... yeah, so it's launched across into the portal, and then we teleport to the portal and go through it. But we teleported here instead. I don't know why the screen was black. Maybe we were in a block, and but also drowning somehow. I don't really know. I don't know what the return trip was about. That was freaking weird. Like, we showed up right here, and then suddenly we were over there. That was weird. I don't know what to make of that. But we are going to have to short circuit this thing, I believe. Let's go back in here. Okay, so we should be good now. We just need to feed this 2 ender pearls. And everything should be in place. Press the button. Good, okay. We're off. Finally! That was the weirdest glitch, like, ever. Okay, this is where we're going to be working today. At the Blaze Farm. And reload that guy. And what we're going to do is rip all of this out and replace it with a fancy new storage system. The sad thing is, when we're done, I don't think this room's going to look any different. Like, I think I'm going to put a chest right there in the middle for Shulker recall, but other than that, this place is going to look pretty much identical, even though we're going to completely retool how it's built underneath. So let's go out and take a look. Let's go into creative mode. This is where we died in episode 1. That was such a mess. Okay, so this is the guts, and what we're going to do is get rid of all these hoppers. This is Lag City, and kind of a crappy design. I was never really happy with it to begin with. We've got like 1 billion hoppers, and these transport the pumpkins to the pumpkin dispenser. So when we have skeletons dropping down out of the farm, they're walking past this dispenser and getting hit with pumpkins. Problem is, we need to keep those pumpkin dispensers full, and what we're doing right now is sending the pumpkins over through a splitter that just splits them 50-50. So half of them go to that farm, half of them go to that farm, and it doesn't work because both farms don't use the pumpkins at an equal rate. And regardless, even if it did work, we need to get rid of all these hoppers. So we're going to get rid of the hoppers, and then all of the drops from the Blaze farm and Wither farm are going to this item elevator, and then I ripped it out already, but just simple item sorters with hoppers going into these shulker boxes. And the problem with that is, I can show you here. Let's find one that's full. So let's assume we have, oh, there's already some bone in it. So let's say we're in here and we want some bone. So we take it out, we go do bone stuff, whatever we're doing with the bone, and then we come back and we want to put the bone back. Well, it's already filling up, and there's no room. We can't put it back. So we want self-leveling shulkers, which I've shown in the Farm Storage 2.0 video, and we're now on Farm Storage 3.0. And the reason we needed to upgrade Farm Storage 2.0 is in the bartering farm we have a dropper going into the top of the shulker box here, but with this design I've left the shulker box open on the top. There's no dropper, there's no room for a dropper right here, and if we were to put one there it'd be visible, and we can't have visible redstone. And one of the main goals of our series is to pick the design we want and make the redstone work around it. So that's what we're going to do. So in order for the shulker to know how full it is, we're going to have a comparator drawn out the back. And that leaves us with no other access point but the bottom. The only way into the shulker box at this point is the bottom. We can't come into the side because it'd be visible, right? We'd have a hopper, big ugly hopper visible. We can't come in through the top because we want this opening here. And we can't come in through the back because that's where the comparator is. So we need our items to enter the shulker through the bottom and leave the shulker through the bottom. But the only way to get items through the bottom of a shulker is through a dropper, and droppers don't work like hoppers, obviously. So we need like a hopper dropper. We need something that puts items into the bottom of the shulker and sucks them out. We basically need this and this. We need a hopper below our shulker box and a dropper. And so, you know, if we put items in here, it'll get sucked down into the hopper minecart. But if we put items in here and power the dropper, we got items back up into the shulker box. And normally you could squish a block down into a hopper minecart and get something like this. But in Java, droppers are removable objects, so we can't do that. But what we can do is take advantage of this bizarre mechanic. I don't know why it does this, but if we place a rail and a cart just right, it puts itself inside the dropper. And now, if we put the shulker box back on, fill it with items, we get our items down into that minecart. But how do we toggle the minecart, right? Because if we have items in this dropper, and then we power the dropper, those items are going into the shulker box and right down into the hopper minecart. They're not going to stay inside the shulker box. It's just going to create kind of like a weird loop. So we need to use activator rails with this configuration here. So we've got our minecart just far enough up that it can reach the shulker box, and then the activator rail locks the minecart. So if we fill the shulker box, nothing comes out, and we can put items in the dropper. Let's put a different item this time, maybe a couple redstone blocks, and now if we power the dropper a few times, we've got our items in the shulker box. But if we unpower the activator rail, it unloads. So now we have both. We have a dropper hopper, or a hopper dropper. Hopper? I don't know. Make something out of that. So that's the basis of design for our Farm Storage 3.0. We're going to have items loading into the bottom of the shulker and back out of the bottom of the shulker, detected by a comparator that reads how full the shulker box is, and then we're going to tell it that we want to leave, I don't know, 4 or 5 spaces open all the time. And once it's completely full, any new items that flow into it will flow back out of it down into a shulker loader below, and then that shulker loader will be our bulk storage. And then when we want to access the bulk storage, we can put a hopper right there, and then a stair like that. And then what we're going to do is change the orientation of our shulker. Whoops. change the orientation so that it comes out toward us instead of straight up. And by coming out toward us, it eclipses the top of the stair so that when we press Q, the item that we eject lands in that hopper below. If we do that here, the item will land on the stair. But because the hitbox comes out past the edge of the stair, we can press Q here, and it'll get sucked up by the hopper below. And then that item goes and tells the system how many full shulker boxes we want. And what I'm thinking we'll do is we've got, let's see, we have blaze rods, bone, wither skeleton skulls, coal, and pumpkins. I had pumpkins here because I was worried that we might be leaking pumpkins, meaning we operated a net loss of pumpkins. But I did some testing and that turns out to not be the case, so we don't need this. So what we can do is shift this over, put the wither skeleton skulls here, and then make this where our shulker boxes come. So if we need just a little bit of bone, we'll grab it from here. If we need a lot of bone, we'll hit Q, and then our shulker box will come up right here. Alright, so we're in a creative world now, so we can look at the finished design next to Farm Storage 2.0, so we can compare the two, and right away you can see that 3.0 is a lot more streamlined. There's no anything. I mean, all four sides of the shulker box are exposed, and the only thing we have in the back is a comparator read, and then everything else happens through the bottom. There's our nested minecart right there. So advantage is it's a lot cleaner. It's basically a blank canvas, whereas Farm Storage 3.0 is very limited in terms of what you can do aesthetically. If you get rid of the basalt, the dropper becomes really conspicuous and kind of dances on violating our rule about no exposed redstone. So disadvantages would be the speed. Farm Storage 2.0 runs at 2x hopper speed, whereas 3.0 is only 1x hopper speed. And the reason for that is the hopper minecart alignment. You need to have 2x item sorting, 2x entry into the droppers, and then the shulker box needs to be able to drain at 2x hopper speed. And the way we do that on this system is by nudging the hopper minecart over two different hoppers so that it can suck items out at 2x. Whereas on Farm Storage 3.0, there's no way to get the minecart over two hoppers. Kind of a downside, but for the farm that we're putting this on, it only needs to be 1x, and what you could do is just dedicate 3 shulker boxes to 3 different items if your farm isn't keeping up, or have a shulker loader that is put somewhere ahead of the item stream. Another big difference between the two is that the Farm Storage 3.0 is top-loaded. Your items run across the top of the system and fall down into it, whereas in order for this to work properly, the items have to be brought up from the bottom. And this is something I'm using in a lot of my designs lately to make them silent. So if we take this off, we're going to hear a lot of noise when this empties. You hear that clicking? So every time a new item comes in here, it's going to activate the clock. And then there's a slight delay before the clock turns off. And that's because droppers click when they dry fire. But they don't click if there's an actual item being moved from dropper to dropper. But if we put a comparator read into the side of the comparator, it won't detect an item until it's a little bit full. So let's fill this guy back up. There we go. So now it's primed. And those items will just live in there. It'll turn off at, I don't know what, somewhere. See, it turns off at 39, and because there's still items in there, we don't get that dry fire. So the whole machine stays silent. And then we have something that looks similar here, but this is what controls the fill level of the shulker box. So if I put that in there, it'll drain. If we load it again, it'll drain again. Take items out, nothing happens. Put them back in, nothing happens, because this is the natural fill level. But if we were to take a slice off this cake, our fill level decreases. So now we've established a new natural fill level for this shulker box. There, and that's the new fill level for it. Now when we want a full shulker box, we need a way to detect that I've pressed Q and thrown an item in there. So an item is going to flow, that item is caught by this hopper and sent down into the shulker box. So we don't waste it, but that one item needs to come down here and basically order a shulker box. But I haven't added that yet. I have an idea for how we're going to do it, and I'll show you back in our main world. Okay, we're back in our world and ready to put that in, but I want to show you a couple more things that are going to have to change. We're going to have to move the staircase. As much as I love it, it's not going to fit, but I think we can fit it right here. I blocked it out and we don't have much under the floor right here. Everything that is under the floor can be rerouted. So I think what we'll do is we'll move the maintenance button up there. We can still reach it pretty easily there, and then we'll have the staircase go there. And then the second thing we're going to redesign while we're at it is all these hoppers here. They feed from 5 different locations. 4 locations, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4 points of origin converging on one hopper line that goes to our farm storage. And we want to replace as much of this as we can with droppers so that we can reduce lag. And right here we have a filter that's filtering out the pumpkins. So when the skeletons die, their pumpkins get filtered out and sent over here, and then split into 2, and half of them go there, half of them go there. We're going to redesign that as well, but we'll wait to see if we have time in this episode. That might go to the next episode. I'm not sure. So for now, we'll start with this, and it's pretty straightforward, so I'm not going to really walk you through much of it. I'll show you the finished setup, but we're just going to have a dropper tower that goes down, over, and then all 4 of them will converge, and then we'll have a dropper tower that goes, or a dropper line that goes this way to an item filter, and then dropper elevators that go up to our farm storage. And there it is. All done. So we have a lot, I mean, it looks bigger, but it's a lot cleaner and more organized. And more importantly, there's no hoppers. I mean, we've got a little bit, you know, we still have a few we can't get rid of up here, at least not very easily. But we've got our Wither Skeleton farm drops coming down to the intersection here, and then blaze, blaze, blaze. And these are just dropper towers that are taking the items down. It's not completely silent, but it's pretty close. See, it makes a little bit of noise, but it's the same amount of noise regardless of how many items go in. If I put like 12 blaze rods in, or 16, it's silent the whole time it's running, and then we get a click when it turns off. So it's not too bad. Could be worse. And then all the items are sent over here to a bunch of item filters that lead into dropper towers that go up to our shulkers at the top. And I didn't really try to get the clocks any smaller on these. If anybody has like a clock they recommend to replace this with, this is pretty big, but it's not really doing anything to the lag situation, so I don't mind, and I'm not tight for space down here, so I don't care about that either. Let's pop up and take a look at the shulkers. So this is what our rig looks like now. Still nothing visible, and we've replaced this one with a chest, which is where our full shulker boxes will go. And the shulker boxes will be waiting down here. We'll put some torches in there just to represent a shulker box. So we'll have shulker boxes for one item type there, and the next item type there, and then there are, it's basically a silo system, so all of this right here is one item type, all of this right here is another item type, and then third item type, fourth item type. And if you see these hoppers pointing toward me, that's one item type, second item type, third, and fourth. And we're going to put a dropper line running toward us to this middle point, and at the midpoint we have a dropper elevator that starts here and goes all the way up to our chest. I've already put that in, it's just waiting for a signal. So what we're going to do is run, let's see, where'd our midpoints go? So that'll be our first shulker recall right there, and then we're just going to run this toward that dropper elevator and join it up with it. And then on the other side we'll do the same thing. That's our item type right there. Oop, too far. And run it into there. And that way, whether it's coming in from this side or coming in from this side, they'll both go up to our chest right there. And then if we put a redstone torch on this block here, that hopper that would otherwise let shulkers flow unrestricted into that dropper chain is going to stop the shulkers from leaving. So we'll put these back in here. Well, we do need one of them. So those stay in there now. That redstone torch locks that hopper. And then if we have a shulker box of another type, let's say, oh, those are going to flow out because we don't have the stopping mechanism there yet. So we'll put this here, put that there, and then now we can put 4 of these in here. And so now we have 4 shulkers there, 4 shulkers there. And now we just need to get a read off of the hopper that receives our key item. So when we press Q and eject an item, that's going to go through this hopper and send a signal into this comparator. And then that comparator will activate this piston. Oh, we need that lower, which will push a redstone block down. And that redstone block will activate that redstone, deactivate that torch, and let an identical number of full shulkers into this dropper line. So if I kick, let's say 3 of these through here, what should happen is we get 3 of our items, of our dummy items went into the dropper line. Okay, so I've mirrored that across all 4 of them. So we have that same thing I just showed you across all 4 of these, and each of them has their locking piece in place. And the last step is going to be getting the items from their dropper to the dropper elevator over here. And the way we're going to do that is with a simple clock. We're going to run a signal here to a target block and bring this around so that we've got an OR gate. So if either this comes down or this comes down, either one of them will power this target block, and we'll put a torch here. So either one of them would deactivate that torch, and then we're going to put a slab here and a full block there, put a rail, and then we're going to make a 4-tick clock, which matches hopper speed. We could go 2x hopper speed with droppers, right? But remember, our whole system is bottlenecked at 1x, so we don't need a clock to be any faster than 4 ticks. And we'll put a block here, no block there, and that makes a clock. So when this is off, our clock starts. And then turning it back on locks our clock. And we'll put a rail here, an observer here, oops. And then what we're gonna do is, ooh, how do we get in there? Let's go around and we'll just break this. We need to bring the observers this way, all the way to there, and then we need to put that dropper back. And that's going to power our dropper chain. Okay, so going back to the beginning, if we throw an item key through here, it'll pass through that hopper into the shulker loader. That comparator will temporarily unlock that hopper, letting a full shulker into our dropper line, and it'll unpower that redstone torch, activating our clock, which activates the dropper line, pushing the item up to our chest. And let's test it out. We'll put a test item in here. We've got redstone torches. And 1, 2. Nothing. And I think I know why. I think we need one more. Yeah. We need one more observer right there. So we'll do 2 more again. There we go. Bingo. We got it. Okay, so I'm just going to match that over to the other side and we'll be done. Alright, time to take this thing for a test drive. We've got it all buttoned back up. Everything's connected together. We'll turn on the Wither Farm and Blaze Farm and test both of them. And while the Blaze Farm fills up, we'll take a look here at what we've got. So I've preloaded this just to get a good test going. And this is where our shulker boxes go. And if I order 2 of these and 1 of these, no, I ordered 2, whatever. We get 2 coal, 2 bone. Perfect. Works. But the test is whether these are not filling up. So all of them have space for us to put items back in. I mean, obviously that one does, but the test is, will this fill as the farm runs and then stay at our preset fill level? So let's head back over here and coax the blaze farm into working. The blaze farm is only active when we're underneath the spawners, so I think over here we're out of range. Like if we were to AFK over here, I don't think the blaze farm would work, but right here it does. And we'll just hang out here until we've got all 3 stations loaded. It takes about 5 minutes. Okay, so we've got all 3 chambers, and hopefully... Okay, yeah, we still have some splash potion. We're going to need to get like a legit brewer for our world. We obviously put these in here with creative. So maybe that's a project for a later date. Okay, so we're going to get a ton of XP from... Well, not a ton, but a fair amount from the Wither Skeleton farm, and then we will kill those guys, and I'm actually going to rush through this so that we can go... Oh, we'll need more than just 1. 2 of these, and let's actually check the blaze farm, or the blaze holder. I don't think you get much from 25, there's only a certain odd, you know, a certain % chance that they drop blaze rods. So let's see, we have 9 in there now, and we'll go take out that row, and that row. Yeah, okay. So it's filling up and draining. Perfect. That works. Good. All right. Another one in the bag. All right. I think we're going to call it there. I'm about out of recording time. And on the next episode, we'll work on straightening out the pumpkin situation and connecting up the piglin bartering farm so we have access to ender pearls. And at that point, we can revisit possibly going into creative mode, or survival, I mean. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Do we need to play in survival? Should we commit to that? Or are we good just popping back and forth and testing our world in survival and building in creative? The pros and cons are basically time commitment. I only have so much time, so the longer I'm in survival collecting resources, the fewer and farther between finished redstone builds are going to be. So, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Survival all the way, or do we do this weird hybrid model and treat this world like it's some kind of weird train set? And let me know what else we should add to the world. I think we need a brewer, but we need something cool. I've got to think up something neat. And we need a witch farm and a guardian farm still. And I don't even have a design in mind yet for those, so that'll be fun. Anyway, that's all. If you liked the video, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.